You're listening to episode 942 of the Father Bills podcast. Welcome back. This week's episode is entitled The Measure of Greatness, given on the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time, 2024. Well, this is episode number 1 of You Know You're Getting Old When. So 2 weeks ago, I was preparing for the homily for this week, and I spent 3 hours of my precious day off. I thought, I'm going to get ahead of this, and started preparing. And then last weekend, I was sitting in the back, and I'm listening to the gospel. I'm listening to Father Anthony preach the homily that I was supposed to be giving. Like, wait a second. What's going on here? It's his turn. Oh, no. I read the wrong readings. I'm prepared for last week, not this week. So at least now I have notes for 3 years from now when those readings come out. Yeah. Anywho, a 12-year-old YouTube video, we now call them shorts, the real short ones, jumped on my feed on YouTube, and it was about a man who was mocking the Oregon Duck players as they were walking across Research Stadium in Corvallis. Again, this is 12 years old, and the guy was dressed in orange. He was a Beaver fan, and the title said, Drunk Man Mocking. And I'm like, yeah. He was saying this, because they're walking by. He goes, no natty, no natty. He's like, no natty. I'm like, what is he talking about? N-A-T-T-Y, no natty. It's not a word I'm used to hearing. And so I had to look this up. I mean, the guy was belligerent. He was ignorant, but I needed to learn why he was saying what he was saying. Well, it turns out at that time, the Oregon Ducks were ranked 4 in the nation, and the Beavers were 13. I mean, that's good that we're even ranked as Beavers. It's common for the Ducks to be ranked, but this is the weird thing. He's mocking them because they lost one game to Stanford, which knocked them out of the championship game, but they still went to a BCS bowl game, which the Beavers didn't go, so he's mocking them. I'm like, what are you talking about, sir? What are you thinking? Well, he's not, because he's drunk. And as a Beaver fan, and the person that was recording it was just like, I'm a Beaver fan, and I'm embarrassed by this person. And I started thinking, this is what I need to talk about, because the reading speaks something of this. That somehow we seem to feel that we have to put down others in order to raise ourselves up. And there's no way he's going to rescue, this guy's not going to rescue himself, because the facts are the facts. One's going to a BCS bowl game, and the Beavers are going to an Alamo Bowl game, which is great, but not the same. Here's even worse. He's not even playing, right? He's a fan. He's going to be maybe in this stadium. But he's not actually personally responsible for a win and loss. It's just not, in fact, one of the Duck players, which was pretty smart, he turned to him and he goes, oh, and where are you going? Right? That guy's going nowhere, right? See, this is a common tactic for bullies, to put people down in order to raise oneself up. It's a defense mechanism for our own insecurities. But see, it's revealed a common and yet sad state we all struggle with, and that is jealousy and self-ambition. We heard this in the scriptures. And we sometimes feel that because we're doing some kind of sport and we're a fan, we get a pass on being, let's say, rude. What do they call this behavior on the field? That you'd be given a penalty for this. What is it called? Unsportsmanlike conduct or taunting. And what is the penalty for taunting? You're out of here. Now, there have been sports throughout the world who have gone completely off the edge, where riots occur. You've seen them, and maybe they've happened in your country. It is horrible. But somehow we felt, because we're fans, we're allowed to do this? That's ridiculous. What has ever happened to good sportsmanship? Where's it gone? We have a divided country. Now it's in sports like never before. Is this the appropriate venue that we would be doing this? Would we do this here? Would we, as Catholic Christians, mock our Protestant mainline brothers and sisters for having rebelled against Mother Church? Would we do that? Is that okay? No. Does arrogance make us great? No. See, now, while St. Paul speaks about and uses an analogy, a sports analogy, in St. Paul's first writing to Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 24, he says, run so as to win. Run so as to win. But I don't recall him encouraging people to have selfish ambition to push everybody out of their way. See, the race of life and salvation isn't a competition against others. Maybe against Satan, but not our fellow brothers and sisters. And there's no population cap for salvation. He wants everyone to be there. God wants everyone to be with him. So what is greatness? Well, in terms of the world, let's say sports, it would be what? The Super Bowl, getting to the Super Bowl and winning it, or winning the World Series, or going to the Olympics and getting a gold medal. Or in the arts, it would be an Oscar or a Grammy. In politics, it would be maybe a governor or a president or a prime minister or a king. How about science, anybody? What would be the prize? What's the prize called for awards in science? Nobel, that's right, the Nobel Prize, maybe Nobel Prize for physics or whatever. So for all these to be great, it takes discipline. But sometimes that discipline can hone us, and it's the hope, to be the best versions of ourselves. But that same discipline can also go awry and destroy paths of relationships we have with people and destroying our families and everybody around us. Because we're so determined and so myopic in our view, we've lost the big picture. In terms of power, it can be used to lord it over people. Or it can be, having power can be given away. Think of Jesus. He had all and has all power. And what did he do with it? He gave it all away. We heard in the gospel a shocking dialogue that he has with his apostles. He had just told them the most important news they could hear, that the Son of Man is going to be killed, suffer death, and rise again. And they're like, I don't know what he said, la, 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 la. Who's the greatest? And they're having a discussion. Jesus stops them and tells them, this is not about power. This is not about fame. It's not a competition about who's going to win and who's going to lose. And it isn't about winning an award, but it is about greatness, not as the world tells us. So what is greatness in the view of God? And again, Jesus makes this clear. We hear this. If anyone wishes to be first, he shall be the last of all and the servant of all. Boom. There it is. I could end my homily. But we're called, all of us, to be servants, no matter what state of life we're in. St. James tells us in his epistle, he wrote, the wisdom of God is pure, peaceable, gentle, compliant, full of mercy, good fruits, without inconstancy or insincerity. Do we all live like this? Well, I don't think so. I know I don't. I struggle in this. There's times where I am a bad fan, or I struggle in sin. But see, the standard is still the standard, as the Steelers say. Speaking of sports analogies, the standard is the standard, and what is our standard? It's Jesus. He is the standard. And while it may seem impossible, that doesn't erase the standard. We are not called to be mediocre. Be mediocre, everybody. No, be great. Serve. Greatness can be a great thing. It can be a good thing as long as it has the love of God and neighbor as its ultimate goal. So this week, put on your calling as a disciple not of a sports team, but of Jesus. Find a way to lift someone up, whether it be at school or at work or home or just about where you might be. Or be a good winner. Be a good loser. help a friend, help a neighbor, help someone in need. Go Ducks, go Beavers. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Father Bills Podcast. As always, if you have any questions or comments, you just can go to my website, fatherbill.org, FRBILL.org. And there you can see, well, you can email me directly from the website. But also there's links to other podcasts, other social media accounts that I have, Facebook, Twitter, or I should say X.com, and even Threads, which is another social media place where I post. And but I will do my best to respond back to you and, do it in a timely fashion, I hope. In the meantime, may God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.